foes and heroes. Gonna tell you about pros and foes and heroes. Gonna tell you about comic books, costumes, facts, boots, and other stuff.
In this week's issue, World's Finest Wednesday.
Hello.
Welcome into Bros, Foes, and Heroes. I'm Zach, joined as always by the man full of malice himself,
Ooh,
Mr. Mike,
I don't like to think I'm full of
and
malice.
also someone who is not as maliceful,
Maliceable.
a little bit nicer.
Malice.
Mason joins us as well.
Nah, I'm full of hatred. You want to know how much hatred I'm full of?
How much hatred?
Bullseye has
this
never
much.
done anything wrong ever.
Are we talking about the Daredevil villain?
Yes,
Oh,
he's never
okay.
done anything wrong.
Hey, I'm gonna pass a code over to Mason right now. 439016.
This makes for great content. Welcome
Well-
into.
What this does is it activates someone out there.
It does. We have now woken a sleeper agent.
We are digging the
Oh,
sleeper
Let the
cells.
blood flow in the streets.
Wow. Okay. We're starting off very hot for something that is going to be a very light-hearted
Yeah,
comic.
silly.
Our World's Finest Wednesday. I talked about it when we talked about
Hey,
Galactus.
Just real quick, I'm sorry to interrupt, but tell me about the human target back there behind you. That's new.
Yeah. Well, I just decided to. I mean, we've had it here. I just decided to switch up.
Oh,
I was going to do book 2 then next week for next World's Finest Wednesday, but I was just changing up some.
wow.
It's more Tom King.
Okay.
It's still, I mean, it's been Mr. Miracle issue 10 forever. So now
Yeah.
we're just.
Okay.
I don't know.
Very nice.
You're
I like
welcome, by the way, Zach.
Yeah, I did get that from Mason.
What? Your flu?
No, the issue of Human
Well,
Target.
that's very nice. Good
Yeah, no,
job.
I'm vaccinated.
You know what I love is when people give me things and then they go, "Hey, tell them who gave you that." That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Since
Oh yeah,
Well,
we all
whatever.
know you made all 5 of your kids do that at some point.
Oh, absolutely, sure.
So what we have on today's World Finest Wednesday, which is coming out on Thursday because today's
Cold,
Thursday,
still
but
cold.
don't worry, we're gonna get back on track. Next Wednesdays will come out on Wednesday.
It's been
But-
cold. We had to have a chance.
That's true. We
been
had to
cold.
get the internet warmed up before
Right.
we could put this out.
I sat on a modem for 6 hours.
Is we talked about a big Fantastic Four baddie, even though we won't necessarily call him a baddie because I don't think Galactus is Galactus.
Galacta is a baddie.
But we covered the introduction trilogy of him. I figured that we would stay in that realm and let's take a look at the first time we were introduced to I would say the Fantastic Four's biggest villain,
This
if
is
not
the
one
big
of
one.
if not one of Marvel Universe's
Yeah.
biggest villain
Yeah.
in general.
He's about to have a whole damn event about him.
He is
One World Under.
One World Under Doom. That's true. When does that come out on?
Oh, that's a new
Started
one?
this week.
It started this week. In the
Yeah.
comics, there's a big event going on right now currently with Doctor Doom. But he is also, we know Robert Downey Jr. is going to play him in
Is
the
he?
upcoming movies.
Who said?
He
Disney?
said that. Disney.
Oh, okay.
Mickey Mouse called me and said, "Psst, Zach." No. So I figured, why don't we cover the first time that the Fantastic Four ran into Doctor Doom? And that takes us all the way back to Fantastic Four number 5. It was the 5th issue, which would be, I believe, 1962. I'm looking this up real quick just to get my years right. But of course, it is the team of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. That is the beauty of this, as I know the duo that worked on this for a good while, as they had a long run, specifically on Fantastic Four. Joe Sinnott, inker, that was another long run. Colorist for this issue was Stan Goldberg, letterer Artie Simek, and then Stan was also the editor at the time. But the release date of this was April of 1962. The cover date says July of 62, but that's where we're taking you back as we will bring up Doctor Doom. Funny, maybe we'll see if you catch it. There's an old, and I'm glad Mason's here too, because he was here the last time this person came up. We'll see if this Easter egg gets through, because it hit me when I was reading this story. There's a former Hollywood star that had been brought up in a recent World's Finest Wednesday that we'll hear again when we get there.
It was recent?
It was a recent story we covered. We'll just wait when we get there. You'll see. So we have the Fantastic Four meet Doctor Doom. And from the get-go, we're introduced to this man with a metal mask, which is kind of
Was
Doctor
it
Doom's
Hermione
calling card.
Chiquita? The head of the Chiquita Banana Company?
We've never talked about. Oh, we have never talked about. I forget. I have to
I'm looking
switch
the
us.
wrong way, yeah.
Yeah, when I have the thing on, we have never talked about Chiquita Banana.
Huh.
I said Chiquita. Yeah, no, we have not.
Wow, I'm racking my brain trying to figure out who it was.
That's fine.
Who
Well,
was it?
It's called patience.
it's called
Mike.
patience, Mike.
Uh,
Anyway, Doctor Doom is kind of he has the Fantastic Four in front of him, like a
Like
chess
chess
pieces on a board,
yeah.
which looks really cool. He
It
also
shows
has
he's
books,
smart.
books about science and sorcery. Okay, there's a book about demons,
he could play chess. And
Literally
read.
named demons.
just demons, and there's just a vulture by him.
Well, this was 1962. There was only one Demons book. At that
Oh,
point.
really?
Yeah.
So he stole it from the library. That does sound like something Doctor Doom would do.
Nowadays, it would be called creatures of the occult and their
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have
And
a
their
long,
extra-
drawn-out name.
Yeah.
some long ass.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
It would be somebody's like alliterative name though, like Billy Bob Bottle Bottoms Guide to.
Or just called the
Bottle
Necronomicon.
bottom.
Yeah, that too. I don't know. I couldn't think of anything. That's the first thing that came to mind, Mike.
Bottle bottoms.
Um,
It sounds like a very comic booky thing, though.
Yeah.
Bottle bottoms.
I was thinking of like the world of Harry Potter for some
We're
reason.
gonna go fight the bottle bottoms.
I do like. I think we talked about this, or maybe we didn't. No, I guess we hadn't. I was telling my wife about this when I was reading through early issues of Fantastic Four, getting ready
Okay.
for the Galactus stuff.
Yeah.
Because it happens here in this issue where Johnny is reading an issue of the Hulk, and in their story,
Oh, no, we
he's-
talked about that. How like they keep bringing other heroes into the story.
they would, but they're referencing them as like actual comic book characters. In the very second issue of Fantastic Four,
yeah,
to scare the Skrulls away from invading, Reed Richards cuts out pictures from Strange Mysteries and like it tells to Astonish. Like he cuts them out of the comic books they print.
huh?
I mean,
And
because
it's
why
just-
not? You know.
No, I get that, but it's just it's really cool. So in this though,
Yeah, but
it-
hang on.
Okay.
We did do one where paper cutouts were seen as real people in a house, and they
where
ran
they were
away
kissing cousins
because they
yeah.
were scared. Yeah,
Yeah, that was the Batman one.
Yeah,
Well, there
it
was
was a Batman.
also
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
that was Home Alone.
there was also the one
same thing.
of do you remember 7-Eleven where he fought that villain who kept having paper cutouts of him that he would dab and tackle and they would just turn out to be paper
Yes,
cutouts?
yes. I think that's the one I was talking about. Yeah,
Well, so we've had two because there's also when Batman was turned into a baby.
I remember that.
that. What was his girlfriend's name at the time, or the woman who was his Lois Lane, like Kimberly Kane, or no?
Sure.
That's actual. What is her? Cassandra Kane. I don't.
No,
Sandra
was it
C-
Rachel? No,
No.
that's Nolan.
Anyway, whoever it was, like she showed up and she was like, "That's Bruce," and he's kissing his cousin, and she ran away, and it was just
Yeah,
like a
I do
silhouette,
remember
yeah.
that. Yeah,
Anyway,
Huh.
so they reference like the whole.
that was weird, huh?
A little bit, Mike. You got to look the other way.
Yeah. sorry.
But so
Hey,
Johnny's.
Zach, what are you doing over there?
That's a joke that only us get, and definitely nobody on audio is getting.
That's true. I'm looking the wrong direction.
But Johnny Storm is reading like a Hulk comic in here, and he tells the Thing like, "This guy could give you a run for your money," and the Thing's just like, whatever. I'd tear the Hulk up, and it's just funny because 7 issues later, because I think it's Fantastic 412, Hulk and Thing actually fight.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's just funny that
Okay.
they're like, like we're gonna make them. I don't know. It's weird that the Hulk's a comic book in here, but yet he'll end up being a real character
It's
too.
also weird to me
Yeah.
that flames can hurt the Thing.
well, they're just hot.
He's rocks.
Yeah,
Well,
He's
rocks
nothing
get
but
hot.
rocks.
Rocks
Anywhere.
can melt.
that's true if it gets hot
He's
enough.
all rocks.
But in typical Fantastic Four fashion, already by issue 5, they fight amongst themselves a lot. So Johnny and the Thing get into a fight, and Reed or Mr. Fantastic breaks it up. And about that time, a helicopter comes like flying overhead, and it just tosses a net over the entire Baxter building, like a web. And it goes, nothing can escape my little web, not even the Fantastic Four. And they
Does he say
go,
my little web?
yeah, he does. And they're like, look at that. And he's like, it's some
Okay.
sort of like net's been dropped on us. And they're like, I'm trying to get through this, but like I can't. It must be made of asbestos, is what Johnny says. Like he can't burn through the net. And about that time, Dr. Doom and his helicopter just goes, Fantastic Four, heed my words. This is Dr. Doom. And Reed is frightened. Like you can see on his face, he's like, that voice, I recognize it. And also because he told us it was him. Like that's the thing. Like that voice, I recognize it. And also he told us exactly who he is.
Reed's all stretchy like Plastic Man, right?
Yeah. Oh, there was one.
You're telling me he can't get out of that freaking net?
No.
Look at the size of those holes.
And what's funny is there's a point where in issue 2, that screen or the scroll one that I'm talking about, they get taken into a government facility and he fits through a pinhole, Mike. He squeezes his whole body
he should
through
be
it.
able to get through that.
That was
easily.
3 issues
Easily.
ago. He already
Yeah,
forgot about this.
easily.
That is also the problem, though, with some of these early comics. Let's not forget that Stan loved alliteration so much with all of his characters, but it also would bite him in the ass, whereas he would call Peter Parker Peter Palmer and stuff like that at times.
Yeah.
So,
Because he was editing like a lot of books this time.
that's true, too.
Jack was drawing a lot, but Stan was writing a
editing
lot as well.
They were kind of like a 2-man, just like wrecking crew of everything they were putting out at the time. And I understand that with everything you were trying to get out, you don't have time to like go back and proofread. You can kind of catch that.
And they did not have the joy of the internet.
That's
like
true,
we
too.
do. Like you actually had to remember.
Here's the backstory that we get for Dr. Doom. Reed tells us that years
Wait,
ago.
Zach, real quick. The first backstory.
The first backstory. There are many. I've heard that Brubaker's Doom is pretty good, actually. It is Brubaker, isn't it?
Brubaker, or no, I don't think Brubaker did. I think
Cowboy.
thinking about Bendis's Doom.
No. There is a recent Doom storyline. I'm not gonna look at it. That people seem to like a lot. I thought Ed Brubaker did it.
I think that was not Ryan North. That was I think that was Christopher Cantwell. I think
Robert Redford.
Yeah.
A lot of people have done
Inmate.
different origins of Doom. Yeah,
anyway,
that's my joke.
the first origin we get, which I'm pretty sure by the first annual of the Fantastic Four, we get it expanded upon and even like tweaked already, like a year or so later. But this is the very first we hear. He goes, years ago in my college, Reed Richards gives us Dr. Doom's backstory. Years ago in my college days, there was a student named Victor Von Doom.
What college did he go to?
I think NYU. I think
it says no. It's Metro City College right now.
Metro City College.
I think it was probably retconned to be NYU.
And the guy's name?
Victor Von Doom.
Yeah. Well, he didn't have a chance.
Yeah, he was always going to be Doom, but he was fascinated by sorcery and black magic. And he goes, I, Von Doom, have mastered the mystic rites. He was a brilliant science student, but he was only interested in forbidden experiments. He was like, oh, you can see how fast this mouse runs through this maze that we have for you, or that's all we'll allow. No, I want the experiments that are forbidden.
Put a firecracker in its butt.
No, Victor, that is forbidden. Well, now that's all I want to do.
Well, that's all I want to do now. Yeah.
This is so. What happens?
You just
it goes
see if he
one
can
night
run through the maze before he explodes. Ass first. Is that how that works? Ding 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 ding. Oh, damn it!
Will the fire make him run faster?
Anyway, it says this is Mad Von Doom.
12 and a half inches.
Why do you keep trying to contact the Netherworld? And Von Doom goes, silence. Just do as you are told.
Silence. The Netherworld is calling.
But then Reed says, one night the evil genius went too far as he brought forth powers which even he could not control. And there's an explosion from his dormitory.
It always happens that way.
And all we just see is his face all bandaged up. And it says that he managed to escape, but he was badly disfigured. And the head of the school says, Von Doom, I'm expelling you from this school before you cause greater harm to yourself or to us. And so he left. When last heard, he was prowling the wastelands of Tibet, still seeking forbidden secrets
that's exactly
of black
where you
magic
go
and sorcery.
once you get kicked out of college. You go straight to Tibet. I'm looking the wrong direction.
Yeah, and of course, Tibet, of all places, is where you will find all of the darkest magic.
That's true. So here's what I have. There's a little piece of audio and video that I'd like to throw out to be. Did Batman go to Tibet? In Batman Begins, he kind of does go off to.
Where's the place he goes to see Raza Gugaduga?
Named a Parbat? I don't know.
In the comics, Named a Parbat, but I think in Nolan, it's just unidentified.
Did I really
Asian
just
country.
that is what it's called?
Nanda Parbat, because I just know the Arrow pronunciation.
Yeah, I think maybe that's why it's in my head, is because it's the same place in Arrow.
All right.
But what I have then, while we're talking about Victor
Could've
Von
just
Doom
yes.
and Dr. Doom, is the reason he wears that mask then is because his
face is all messed up.
Exactly. That's
From
at least
the
where it starts from.
explosions.
But the guy who at least drew him had a very interesting take on Dr. Doom as well that I thought I'd share. As a Jack Kirby fan, I just find this very interesting.
So this is
behind that steel mask, there's a very handsome guy. Okay? He's a good-looking guy. But there's one thing wrong with him. He's got a scratch on his chin. And he's frustrated. He knows he's extremely handsome. He's got the scratch on his chin, but you have... Why haven't you got a scratch on your chin? And of course, he doesn't realize that his own anger and frustration is mounting. He's not a bad guy. As you saw in a Fantastic Four, he gave the Fantastic Four a wonderful meal before he killed him. Dr. Doom isn't all bad, and he's got a lot of class. He's got a lot of culture. Dr. Doom is a college man, and Dr. Doom is a knowledgeable man. And without that little scratch, which kind of ruins its own personality and supplies that lifelong frustration, that's what makes him the villain he is.
He's a good-looking guy. He's a handsome guy.
Mike loves to rag on Kirby's New York accent. Here's what I will tell you, because it does sound a little off. What I did is I took that is actual audio from a Comic-Con, or the video that you saw. It goes with that video, but I ran it through like a
it's like
vocal.
1953's Comic-Con.
It's like a 60s or 70s, but there's a lot of static in it, so I ran it through a little bit just to clean it up. So that's why it kind of sounds a little.
He's a good-looking guy. See,
Mike loves doing that.
He's got a scratch on his chin.
I just wanted to hear it from the man himself talk about it. But I love the idea of that, like in this explosion, like nothing really did happen to him. Like it's just like this scratch on his chin. But he is so vain and can't deal with the fact that there is something wrong with him that everybody else doesn't have wrong with him. That's why he's so evil. Like something like that seems to fit this character so well.
He's a knowledgeable
there are people
guy.
like that.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a college guy.
He is.
He's read a book. See,
he has.
He's read a book.
Jack Kirby does really talk like the.
He's great.
He does, but he sounds very much
I know
like
it sounds
the
like I'm
area
making fun of him. I'm not really.
But like, he sounds like the area he grew up in for sure in that New York
very
time.
unique.
But yeah, I ran it through a vocal enhancer,
guy.
and it made it kind of sound a little off at times. But I had to include because there was just space where he talks about the Fantastic Four making him dinner, and because it took out the laugh when I ran it through the enhancer, and I was like, that's just going to be weird to sit there in silence. So I had to have
the
the
funny
static
thing
back.
is that he says that Dr. Doom made him a meal, and that kind of thing
before you kill him. Yeah.
Well, in that Fantastic Four trailer, what do we get? We get Fantastic Four making a meal. Right, so I wonder how much
dinner at 7 every
is
Sunday.
Yeah,
in that kind of thing. Is there something there?
I don't know. I think that's more again, like we talked about when we did the Galactus thing of it, just showing Ben trying to hang on to any part of his humanity that he has left, kind of thing.
You know what I was very disappointed in?
What's that?
Is the fact that the Super Bowl didn't provide us more trailers.
No, all they gave us was a little bit about that I saw for
freaking Lilo and Stitch and Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts, yeah,
and Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible.
How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah,
no, I
no one wants, and the Mission Impossible
Nobody
one.
wants any of that. Nobody wants the Lilo and Stitch thing. Nobody wants the How to Train Your Dragon thing. It's all live action retelling of the same exact story.
I think the Lilo and Stitch is. I can't even tell if that's a series or if that's a movie.
It's a movie.
Anyway, it's the first movie, just redone with real people.
Well,
this is.
I'm concerned we keep only seeing Stitch. When are we going to see Lilo with Stitch? That's kind of the whole movie.
I'm gonna have to wrangle you guys back in.
I'm so sorry.
We got off. Let's get back to Fantastic Four.
No, what I was hoping is more Fantastic Four footage. What I was hoping for, or a great Superman trailer, and I got neither.
No, we did get a little
and I got a blowout.
We got a short of Nathan Fillion showing off the bowl cut as Guy Gardner, which was really awesome though.
But that wasn't during the Super Bowl.
No, I mean it was around the Super Bowl.
They kept telling us Super Bowl, nothing.
Anyway, so you ask about that rope. Like the thing goes to try to like rip it off, like to get it out of the way, and it electrocutes him while he pulls away.
The rope
it is charged
and made out of asbestos.
And made out of asbestos.
Like the perfect combination.
So he essentially tells them, like, I'll let one of you through. I'll let Sue Storm out, and I'm going to take her as hostage. Because I need you three to do something for me.
Old Invisigirl.
Yep. He's like, you do. Where does he say? Oh, he tells them, first send Susan Storm out to me. I shall hold her as hostage to ensure that you do what I demand of you. And now what is your answer? And they decide to do it. Sue agrees to. So she goes out and she climbs up to the building, to the top of the building, and Doom takes her up on the helicopter with us.
No Herbie.
With her.
Right?
Huh?
No Herbie yet?
No Herbie, the love bug?
No, the robot.
No Herbie.
Okay.
Anyway, so after Doom kidnaps Sue and has her tied up on his helicopter area.
I know things, Zach.
Fair enough. He lowers down. Well, actually, Herbie, I'm pretty sure, was made just for the cartoon back in the day.
Yeah. And then
because they
started
couldn't
being incorporated into
because
the
they couldn't have the Human Torch. There was one of them they couldn't have.
Oh, really?
Was it the Thing? They have Herbie instead. I don't know. I could be off, but he was just made for the cartoon back in the day.
Yeah,
I do remember that. Anyway, so he then essentially Dr. Doom, after getting Sue tied up and on his plane, drops down like a bird cage to capture the rest of the Fantastic Four.
These
and
seem like
sucks them
very
up into his plane.
simplistic traps.
They
that he
are
keeps throwing at them.
but they have no way of getting out of it. They're like electrically charged and they're made of asbestos.
How does it seal the bottom if it drops on the top?
I don't know, but it does have it sealed when it like lifts it up.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, so do they have to jump for it to before it closes? I'm gonna go with
jump.
Yeah,
Jump.
that works.
Jump.
He's like, all right, now you guys all jump on 3,
Or
and then I'll close it up. Yeah,
They're
and
like,
then I'll
wait,
take
on
you
3
away.
or after 3? Which one?
Thing, come on, Doom, let us know. Thing, you're gonna lose a foot on 3. Like, you know. So he flies them off to his castle or his fortress, which we know is Latveria, even though they don't reference it here. But it is his castle off at his hideout, and he tells them like, all right, now that I have you here. Latveria is the name of the country he's from. Yeah.
Okay.
He's sitting there, very supervillain like, as he's petting a tiger with Sue Storm tied up next to him, and the other 3 remaining members of the Fantastic Four standing on this little yellow panel in front of him.
Yep.
And they ask, "All right, well, we're here. Like, what do you want us to do?" And he goes, "Well, I have successfully developed the most incredible invention of the age, an actual time travel device. And I want you to go centuries into the past and obtain the legendary treasure of Blackbeard for me."
Is there any reason why he can't do this himself?
Dr. Doom, because he has to operate the machine.
Yeah.
That's what he tells them.
Come on.
He goes, he means it. Why don't you go do it yourself? And he goes, I cannot. I must remain here to operate the machine.
Oh, they did ask him that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, I have to operate the machine. That's why I can't go.
Good job.
And they're like, okay, well, we got to do it then. It's the only way we're going to get Sue
My
back.
finger is the only one that fits in this hole.
And they're like, all right, we've talked about it. Like, we'll go ahead and he goes, I want the treasure. You shall bring it back. And he's like, despite his faults, like, Doom is not a liar. Like, he'll keep his word.
Treasure. Why?
So they're like, we'll do it as long as you release Sue. And he's like, all right, that'll work. Now I'm going to send you hundreds of years into the past. And he just pushes a little button on his chair, and the pad that they're on, like light shines from it, and they just disappear. And they wake up back into Blackbeard's time as they're with pirates. Because like, yes, it worked. Look, we've got to move. We only got 48 hours. They only have 48 hours to find Blackbeard's treasure.
Sure.
And they're like, first thing we need are some costumes. And thankfully enough, they come across 2 pirates arguing back and forth, where one of them goes, I stole these costumes, ye swab their mind. And the other one says,
wait. They use the word costume?
I stole these clothes. Sorry.
Okay.
I stole these clothes, ye swab their mind. Ye miserable sea dog, ye swore to divide the booty with me.
Oh, I'm going to divide your booty.
Thing comes in and says, I say they're mine. Like, and he scares them off. And they're like, oh, thank heavens. It's just 2 guys there, but we have pirate costumes for all of us. And they fashion Ben like hair to make a mask and a beard.
That's
and
like
an eye patch for him.
pirate I've ever seen.
Is. Oh, it gets better here, Mike. But so they do it for him to blend in. Well, they go to the local bar and they're like trying to ask around to find Blackbeard.
This is the introduction of Dr. Doom.
This is the very first time we meet Dr. Doom. And so they're sitting around a table and they're like, ahoy, matey, let's see if we can date one of these pretty barmaids is what Thing is. Thing's like, I just want to pick up on one of these bar ladies. And Reed's like, knock it off. Like, we got to find Blackbeard. And one of the other pirates just goes, these strangers seem kind of weird, but I think they could join our crew. Like, I think they could work out.
You vibe with these boys.
Yeah, essentially. And the other one goes, go ahead and get him some grog. Let's put him to sleep. Will you?
Put him some grog. Get him
and
some
so
grog.
The woman goes and pours it, and all 3 of them, Thing, Reed, and Johnny, all drink the grog, and they pass out at the table, only to wake up aboard a ship. As we have part 3, the trail of Blackbird of our story here. Hours later, the Thing awakens. He's the first, slowly, silent, like he's looking around him, and he can only find himself on the holds of a pirate ship. And he breaks through the bottom where they're being stored, like up into the top. I don't know ship terms, but they're like underneath the main part of the ship, and he like breaks through the top.
The top is the shallap. The The bottom is the curvy part.
I think it's the bridge. I think.
Thank you. He like breaks up through the bridge, like pulls one of the sailors down underneath him before he himself like crawls up on top of board the ship, like because they're in the holding cell.
The deck.
Thank you. The deck. He climbs up aboard the deck. They're in like the bridge underneath, or they're in the holding area underneath, and he breaks through the roof of it to kind of climb up above on top of the deck.
Okay.
And another like Mr. Fantastic stretches out to stop another sailor who's throwing things at them. And then Johnny like melts one of the pirate's swords as he like tries to stab him. All three of them are like showing this crew like, hey, you're no match for us. And it scares the rest of the crew. They're like, all right, guys, like stay back. It's death if we try to defy these merciless ones. And they're like, all right, that's things like, I like how this works out. Then like y'all follow us. Okay.
Where are all the parrots?
Not a single parrot in the story.
Damn it.
And it says, suddenly we're attacked. It's another pirate ship. And they go and they point at it. Maybe it's Blackbeard. And Reed looks and goes, she's loaded with treasure. It could be Blackbeard. Thing, Torch, get ready. Like we're in for the fight of our lives. So Thing rallies up the other men and he's like, come on, you swabs. You know, that means you. We're going to fight this together. You got him? Or you got me? And everybody like agrees with him. And they're all going to go.
Where's the captain?
There is no one. They're all going to go storm the other.
What are you effing up in the future, by the way?
We'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get there.
Right.
Well, maybe they were always destined to come do this, Mike.
Okay.
Don't think about it.
Okay.
And so Johnny turns, he flames on, and he goes and he sets like the mast of the other ship on fire. And it scares the other enemy pirate ship as they think he's a demon.
Well,
he goes
yeah.
over there. And then he goes into the water to create steam, so like a smoke screen, so they can't see the other ship coming.
Okay.
Reed stretches his body clear across from their ship to the other ship and grabs a hold of it. And they use him as a human bridge to storm across. Before they do that, Thing rips off one of the thing that the crow's nest would be on.
Yeah,
the mast, which seems a very crucial part of the ship to have.
It is. It's literally what guides it.
Exactly. He rips it off and he runs across with it too to beat somebody with. Typical Thing behavior. So they all run
if
across
I see
Reed.
that, I just give up.
They all run across Reed and they make quick work of the other pirate ship. And they're like, yeah, we got him, boys. And brief minutes later, hooray for the mighty bearded one who led us. Hooray for Blackbeard. Hail Blackbeard, scourge of the seven seas.
But it's Thing.
Thing is Blackbeard.
Okay.
And that's when Johnny's like, Blackbeard, but they're talking about the Thing. And Reed's like, good Lord, I see it now. The Thing is Blackbeard. He came back to the past to find himself.
What the?
So they open up the treasure chest that's there and that it's filled with jewels. And he's like, and Thing's like, wow, look at this stuff. It's
These
so
are
precious.
all made of chocolate.
And Reed goes, yeah, but obviously there's something that Doom wants out of this. Like there's something that he's not just going to send us just to get this to be rich off of. Like there has to be something about this treasure. Also, we only promised him we bring him the chest, not that we bring him Blackbeard's treasure.
Watch out for those loopholes.
So he dumps all the treasure out and they put chains inside the chest and they close it back up.
It's not going to turn out well.
And they're getting ready to go back. And Blackbeard or Things like, no, we're not going back. We can't go back. Like, I'm somebody here. Like, you know, I'm not the Thing. I'm Blackbeard. They like me. They respect me. Guys, get them. Like Johnny's he's too exhausted to turn back into the Human Torch right now. Now's the time for you to grab him. Wrap Reed up or Mr. Fantastic him in that cell so he can't use his powers to stretch out. Like they're not gonna, or he goes, put them in the ship and send them overboard. They can take care of themselves. Like I'm gonna live my life as a pirate now. The Thing wants to be Blackbeard now that he knows he can be Blackbeard.
It's really
not the Thing. And then about that time, a tornado comes through.
Sure, why not?
A sea tornado.
It says at that very moment, as though an echo of the Torch's words, ahoy, matey, all hands, twister ahead. And it ravages the ship and it tosses everybody ashore. Well, I say it tosses ashore. Mr. Fantastic and Johnny come ashore to find the Thing. All the other crew members are gone.
I just want to say I love Johnny's like panicked drowning face. I don't know why. It's really good.
It is. What were you saying, Mike?
Can there be a tornado on water?
In this area there could be.
I thought it was a hurricane.
No, it's a tornado on this one.
Oh, there's also fire nados, you know.
That's true. And sharknadoes.
Sharknadoes.
But so
Then
they find
just NATO.
That's true with a T. They find the chest that had the chains in it, And then they find Thing just washed up on the shore with his beard ripped off and
Now he
all
would
that.
be Blackbeard, huh? Look what happened to you.
Yeah, and
Punk.
his crew is no longer around. His ship's no longer around. And he's just kind of sad. And he's like, don't say it, Reed. I know I was a fool. I must have got carried away being accepted and being a normal man.
Well, that's a problem.
That, he goes, as a normal man, even if I was only by a band of cutthroat pirates, I just lost my dumb head for
4.5 minutes.
Yeah. And they find the chest. And it's about that time that Doom brings them back to the real world. We have the vengeance of Dr. Doom.
They come in and Doom is performing a DJ set there
in the middle of his fortress. And so Doom lets them there and he's like, all right, the 3 emissaries, you've returned as I knew you would.
You boys like dead mouse?
And they give Doom the chest and he goes and he opens it and he's like, what? Chains? Worthless chains. I've been tricked.
Whoa.
And the thing's like, you've got something else more than that in store for you. And he goes and he punches Dr. Doom.
Oh.
And it turns out to be a robot. Well, he's like, it's nothing but a robot. And about that time, an orb falls down from the ceiling in typical DJ fashion. Sure. And he goes, naturally, I am in a hidden room above you. A room naturally. A room from which
I'm not like you fools.
I have a room above me. I shall now press a button draining your chamber of all oxygen. Farewell, Fantastic Four. But Sue Storm, watching Dr. Doom say this, is like, no, he's in for something. You know what I'm going to do? He forgot about me. I'm going to turn invisible, and I'm going to edge up to the control panel now, and I'm going to activate its cutoff switch to short circuit the mechanism. And when she does, an explosion happens. By the way, why would you have something on the machine that you flip a switch and it causes an explosion in the machine? I've never understood that.
Well, it's like, why was there a hole, the one little hole to destroy the Death Star? I mean, it got retconned, but
no,
we know.
Exactly. But like you see it there, like she just flips the switch and it explodes right in front of Dr. Doom. But anyway, she's able
self-destruct.
Exactly. She's able to go and open the chamber room that's sucking all the oxygen out, and they're able to get away and free. And Mr. Fantastic in the room that they are is able to squeeze through some prison bars.
Yeah, now he can squeeze through.
He can and wrap himself around some rocks as they break the wall down to escape from Doom's fortress on the edge
there.
Go
into the past, have an existential crisis with my rock friend who thought he was a pirate all of a sudden. Then we came back. He tried to suck us all of our oxygen. And then I figure out, why don't I just go through these bars?
People forget how strong Reed actually is.
Basically. He's also a terrible husband, but
no, he's not a terrible husband. He's a good husband. It's just people just think of like Civil War as him a bad husband. He's a good husband.
No, he's not. He was an asshole to her in Galactus already in issue 48.
This is the 60s.
So get out of here.
Anyone
he
read
was.
60,
he told her. He
anyone
like,
read
said, go
60s Marvel? Spider-Man's an asshole. Everyone's an asshole at these
Superman
times.
is a massive dick around this time too. We're gonna get into next week. We're gonna get into some Superman. But so they get out and now they realize, oh no, there's a moat around. But Johnny's been working on this skill that he's been wanting to try for months. It says, by giving my flame the intensity of atomic heat, I can actually boil a section of the water away and fuse the ground, turning it into a glass-like substance. And so they do that, and they're able to walk across the alligator-ridden water of the moat that way. That leads us to, as he then encompasses the fortress in fire, the Human Torch does, right? So you see flames like coming up around the fire as Dr. Doom is like sticking his head out the window, just like fish shaking at like an old man, mad at clouds is what he looks like damn you, Human Torch. And so he goes, let him use his flame. I hope he burns my fortress to the ground so that none of my no one will ever learn of my many secrets. Then he like strips off his cloak or his coat and he has a jetpack and he like shoots away with the jetpack and he's too fast for the Human Torch to catch, to the point of where like he exhausts his flame and Johnny falls from the sky and catches himself in a tree
on a single limb.
And they go and you're like, oh, all right, you're safe. And he's like, gosh, Dr. Doom is on the loose, man. What's going to happen next? He says Submariner first because in issue 4 they run amok in Namor.
Yeah. And Reed goes, we'll devote our lives to tracking them down. We can do no more. That's just a lie.
It is a lie. And Thing goes, and next time I'll handle things my way, which
rock hard,
which is get so involved in pretending that I'm a pirate captain that I'll send my friends off to die so I can remain being the pirate captain. Surprises follow. Surprise in the next fabulous issue of the Fantastic Four.
Wow.
Wow.
What a way to introduce a pivotal character.
Well, again, they didn't know it was going to be a pivotal character. That's the thing with these. But
I'm
that
Dr.
is
Doom.
that
And
is
they liked
Dr.
him enough.
Doom.
They brought him back the next
I
issue.
live in a
That's
bubble.
true. That is Dr. Doom. He's in issue 6 and issue 10, so he stays around for a while. And that
Yeah.
is a World's Finest Wednesday. Next World's Finest Wednesday, we're looking at everybody's favorite, or at least ours, of how ridiculous they are. A story from Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane, and this one involves Lana Lang too, and it does involve marrying Superman because they all do.
Wow.
So that's what you can look to next Wednesday. Until then, stay safe, everybody. Appreciate you guys taking the time out to listen, watch, comment, all of those things. Also, make sure to check out the other great podcasts on the Rogue Media Network family of podcasts.
RogueMediaNetwork.com.
And until next time, stay safe, everybody.
Hey, Mason.
Yeah.
You know what?
Hey,
God of God.
Frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.